Sagan's fallacy. What is Sagan's fallacy?
I don't know, but I'm sure you're going to tell us.
Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
And how is that a fallacy?
That is entirely untrue. If I experience something that I am the only one who's experienced it, and it's actually true, and I claim that it happened, and someone says extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, no, it doesn't.
Depends what you're claiming. If you tell me that you made a YouTube video last night, I'd have little reason not to believe you. I know YouTube exists, I know you have a channel, and I know you create YouTube videos. If I knew you personally and doubted your word, I might ask you to see it. If, however, you claim that you rode an invisible, lazy-eyed pink dragon to a demon realm that resides outside our dimension, where you met Gandalf the Grey for a cup of fainting phantom tea, I would not believe you without strong evidence for the existence of invisible pink dragons, demon realms, fainting phantom tea, and... Okay, I might be inclined to believe you that Gandalf is real, because that would just be fucking cool. But carry on.
I don't have to provide extraordinary evidence that actual event that I experienced was indeed true.
Well, yeah, but you're telling me something, so I assume you want me to believe your tale. Otherwise, what would be the point in telling me?
The only reason I would have to provide evidence would be to convince you that it was true, okay?
Yeah, and that's the point of Sagan's saying. If you want people to believe your extraordinary claims, you need to provide extraordinary evidence, or your claims can be dismissed. It makes perfect sense, and you would use the same logic when trying to figure out whether something is true or not. Surely you don't go around believing every wild claim someone makes, right?
But it has nothing to do with whether or not it actually happened, because the veracity of that claim is in no way dependent on your belief about that claim.
Nobody is saying that the truth is dependent on the claim. We're saying we have no reason to believe your claim, because it's outside the realm of believability, unless you can provide extraordinary evidence to back up your extraordinary claim. Your God, which usually consists of claims such as invisibility, the ability to be everywhere at once, the ability to read thoughts and create universes, and so forth, compose an extraordinary claim. This is why you have to provide solid fucking evidence.
Okay? If we see a box sitting around in one of those Valentine's Day box, and I say, there's no chocolate in the box. No, if I say there is chocolate in the box, somebody else says there's no chocolate in the box. I'm telling you, there's chocolate in the box.
You know how you solve that dilemma? You go and lift up the box and see if it contains chocolate.
And the person says, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
That's not an extraordinary claim. That's an ordinary claim, and you can test for the truth of that claim by merely looking inside the box.
Or simple, you must provide evidence in order for there to be chocolate in that box. No, I don't. I don't have to at all.
Nobody said you had to provide evidence for there to be chocolate in the box. But again, we can see easily for ourselves whether or not the box contains chocolate.
Oh, Jesus!
Nor does my belief that there is chocolate in the box make it true. But I am not the one making the claim that there's chocolate in the box because I believe it. I don't believe that, I'm not making the claim that God exists because I believe in God, therefore he must exist. So you're attacking an argument I'm not making.
What the fuck are you talking about? Of course you're making the claim your God exists because you believe it exists. Why else would you claim it exists in the first place? If I claim unicorns exist, I'm doing so because I think unicorns exist, and the person I'm telling would be perfectly justified in asking me to provide evidence for my wild claim.
I don't believe the existence of God is an extraordinary claim at all.
Wait, what? You don't think a supernatural being that can create universes out of nothing, who doesn't have a material body, and has all sorts of powers no other being possesses, doesn't rise to the level of an extraordinary claim? Really? Come on.
I believe it's very intuitive. I can believe that we can evoke it axiomatically, the same way they do materialism.
No. It can't be looked at axiomatically. It's not self-evidently true. That's why you have atheists.
The best that they can do when you say extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, or like the great sea captain, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. See how I parrot that and vomit it back up mindlessly?
What the hell did I just watch? Again.
Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence.
I'm sorry, I'm an asshole.
No, it doesn't. If extraordinary events do indeed happen, whether you're convinced of it or not is irrelevant. So, in other words, I don't have to provide extraordinary evidence for any sort of event to have happened, if it truly did.
You're right. We just won't believe you and carry on our merry way. When you try to make us take you seriously, we'll ask you for evidence, and when you can't produce any, we'll continue not to believe and think you're making shit up.
But yet, the skeptic seems to, a lot of the skeptics, I don't want to say all of them, seem to believe that unless they're convinced of something, it cannot be true. Unless I'm convinced of A, then A can never be true. That's assuming that the veracity of A is somehow dependent on your belief about A, and that's a logical fallacy in and of itself.
What they're telling you is that you and your religion are making claims about the nature of reality. You can't produce any evidence for your claims, and so they see no reason to believe you. The same way you'd react if I told you some fantastic tale of my own that went against observable reality.
Now, you're saying that I won't believe A, I won't personally believe A unless I see some more convincing evidence of A. That's one thing, all right? That's fine. That's intellectually honest.
Bam! Just like that. That's all there is to it, Dustin. That's all there is to it.
But, you know, I'm skeptic about some things. I'd like to see a little more evidence. I get that. But A doesn't cease to be true because you refuse to acknowledge that A is true, even if it is true. And it doesn't become A isn't true because I believe it. A is true as it is. And if I believe A is true but it's false, you know, I can say, well, prove to me with evidence that it's false, and I'd be making the same mistake.
It doesn't cease to be true if it's true, but your claim is extremely unlikely. There's no reason for it to be taken seriously. And when you decide to tell the rest of us that we must behave in certain ways, or that your God wants certain things from us, or that our laws must be shaped according to this unlikely being's whims, we can rightly push back against those claims because you have no good evidence for those claims. You seem to think it's a 50-50 proposition, when it's more like a 99.9% chance of being untrue, and a minuscule chance it is.
That being said, when I hear people say, I need evidence for the scientific evidence for the existence of God, really? The existence of God is purely metaphysical. It is metaphysics. It goes way outside of time, space, matter, and energy. God precedes the physical universe by default.
And there you have your extraordinary claims. It's metaphysical, it's outside space and time, outside of matter, blah, 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 blah. You can make claims till you're blue in the face, but the fact still remains you have no evidence to back it up. People like me will continue to operate in the realm of reality, and Sagan saying is not a fallacy. It's a true statement. That's it for this video. You can watch the original if you want. As always, the link will be in the description below. Take care and cheers!